righty. It looks like we've got quite a few folks who have joined now, so we'll go ahead and dive right into things. And first, for those of you who just joined, just wanted to introduce ourselves again. I'm Coulter Robinson, account executive here at Hostfully. I'm joined by my colleague Kelly Brown here at Hostfully as well, and then Jessica and Justin, both from Remotelock. Justin, Jessica, thank you both so much for taking the time to join us here today. We're really excited for what you have to offer.
Yeah, thanks so much for having us.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, thank you guys. Looking forward to the webinar.
Perfect. And I can speak firsthand from being a property manager. I know how critical that access is and making access easier to properties. It's a lot of people think the first impression is when the guest actually is in the home and they see the bedrooms and the living room and all of that. But as a host myself, I can speak to that first impression is actually being able to get access into the property. And you want to start off on the right foot here. So I know how critical it is. So just excited to learn a little bit more about what you guys have to offer. And before we get to all of your exciting information, what we're going to do is just give you all some brief background information on Hostfully. So those of you who are not familiar with Hostfully, we're a property management software. We offer two different tools, but ultimately we're here to try to streamline your day-to-day operations, maximize those operations while also bringing you in more bookings, and hopefully that results in more revenue at the end of the day. And like you can see down below there, we offer two main products here at Hostfully. First is our property management platform. That's really your tip-to-tail solution for managing and streamlining those day-to-day operations. So we've got a couple of bullet points outlining some of the features that we offer. It's a very robust platform. But first and foremost, of course, is integrating and partnering with all those major OTAs, whether that be Airbnb, VRBO, Booking.com, TripAdvisor, a wide variety of others as well. Helping you to manage those bookings, we offer a booking pipeline, a centralized calendar to make it easy for you to manage all of those reservations from one centralized location. Direct booking website template. For those of you who are not yet utilizing direct reservations through your own website, we make that super easy here at Hostfully with our out-of-the-box website template. Of course, that's become a big priority for allowing guests to just book direct through you, save on some of those additional fees that they might otherwise pay on the channels. Of course, managing messaging and communication with all of your guests. We've got automated messages included in SMS and WhatsApp, which is super exciting. Payment processing. And then finally, there are some reports, whether that be owner reports, financial reports. We realize everyone's got different needs around those reports. So we provide you with a variety of capabilities around customizing those reports, tailor them for your personal business. And then second product there, digital guidebooks. This is one of my personal favorites. Honestly, this was probably my unsung hero when managing my properties is the digital guidebook platform. And this is really aimed at optimizing the guest experience. Like you can see, boosting that guest experience. So what we want to do with those digital guidebooks is cut down on communication with guests, provide them all the information they need in just one place, whether that be local recommendations, arrival, departure information, house manuals showing them videos or photos to how to navigate specific features within your property. It's got a marketplace feature to allow upsell products and services for extra income for you as the host. And you can also use it to collect guest emails, have guests sign agreements, and hopefully ultimately drive more 5-star reviews. And again, just optimize that overall guest experience. And I will mention these two products are completely standalone. So, you can use them separately. You can use one or the other, but they do integrate with each other as well. So if you're interested in using both products, we would love for you to use that integration. And of course, if you have any questions about these products, we got the questions tab in the bottom right-hand corner. Feel free to trickle in any questions, whether it's Hostfully related, Remotelock related. And of course, if you want more information and a personal demo, contact either Kelly and I. We'll be happy to coordinate that for you. And real quick, just want to shout out our team, our property management platform. Down below, Terry White with the Shorties Award. We are recognized for that. And he, as you can see, said this is one of the best softwares I have ever seen. So we always just like to give kudos to the team there and a big shout out. And same goes with the guidebooks. Software advice frontrunners in 2020, a couple of awards that we've been recognized for there. And as you can see, Erica just saying, totally blown away by the platform. It saved her so much time, and it was way more professional and modern than the typical PDF format that you might give a guest when they arrive, all printed out pages. This is something digital. They can pull it up on their phone, computer, any device, and they've got all of that information right at their fingertips there. So big shout out to the team. And again, just some of those capabilities around the guidebook. But with that being said, oh, and one more thing here just to point out, on our website, hostfully.com, we've got a variety of webinars, reports, whatever it might be, with pertaining to just the industry as a whole, but also Hostfully. So feel free to go to hostfully.com, check out those webinars, those reports. We'd love any feedback that you've got. We always love interacting with all of the community here within the vacation rental industry. So feel free to go to hostfully.com, give those a look. But with that being said, let's go ahead and dive into it. Jessica, Justin, I'm going to hand things off to you here. And again, if anyone has questions along the way, throw them in the questions tab. We'll be answering those throughout the presentation.
Perfect. Awesome. Thanks so much, Coulter. We'll just go ahead and hop right in. So our goal here with this is to just go through a real simple guide here to understanding keyless access for property managers. Before we even do that though, I'll introduce Remotelock, who we are, why we're even here talking to you today. So Remotelock is the industry leader when it comes to universal access control software. We make running a vacation rental business easier for property managers by automating remote access control. But what sets us apart is that we are a software company, but we're hardware agnostic. So Remotelock integrates with all of the, industry leading smart lock brands and access hardware, wired access hardware. But then we also integrate with all of the important vacation rental business softwares like a property management system, a channel manager, a rental booking system, etc. So with that, the ultimate goal is to give customers the choice and flexibility when it comes to how they manage access to their properties. So if you look at the right hand of the screen for my fellow visual learners there, we see the result there. So it's really all about being able to control any door with any credential with the lock brand of your choice while leveraging the integrations. So, and this is all done in one single platform there at the bottom with the Remotelock computer. So we'll talk about this as we move through the presentation. I just have to submit this poll to move forward here. Awesome. Okay. So moving along into the vacation rental tech stack. So over the past 5 years, the vacation rental industry has witnessed a significant evolution in technology. So whether you're looking to, grow your business or you simply just want to be more efficient in delivering a higher level of guest experience, there are technologies out there that, will support your needs. So you might already have some of these or you're planning to add them to your tech stack, but on the screen, you'll see some of the important technologies that property managers are using today. But the thing to keep in mind here is a savvy property manager isn't thinking about these as separate technologies. It's more so how they can come together and offer greater efficiencies for your business. So Jess, how can you do that? Good question, whoever asked that. I'm here to tell you that. So the answer is automation. Automation is the name of the game, okay? It is a necessity in managing the day-to-day large, and even small tasks, let alone efficiently scaling your short-term rental portfolio. So we'll get more into that later on. But Justin, I think you have something to add here.
Yeah, just kind of going off of what Jess was saying there, the vacation rental industry has obviously experienced exponential growth with no signs of slowing down, averaging roughly a 10% year over year growth. And the industry is expected to reach about 20 billion in just the next couple of years here. And also, as Jess mentioned, one of the biggest factors really influencing this growth is all the new technology. Property managers are really shifting away from their old-fashioned manual processes as they continue to implement all of these cloud-based automation tools. People are slowly realizing that fine-tuning your tech stack is really a necessity to keep up with the competition in this ever-changing market, continuing to scale your business using those platforms. And then also just making those investments internally is really going to pay off in the long run by saving you a bunch of time and money, allowing you to take full advantage of some of these automation tools and really getting the most out of your tech stack.
Exactly. Yep. It's all about that automation. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about automation. So automating access control opens up a ton of benefits for your business. you're not just automating the guest experience and the guest communication, you're automating access for anyone and everyone that's interacting with your property. So like a cleaning team or a maintenance team. So we just talked about the importance of technology and what it means for your business. Now we're going to shift a little bit here into controlling access through technology, automating that access, and then what that means for your business. All right, moving along here. So we broke the process of choosing a solution down into 3 sections, trying to keep it really simple for you guys. So first, what you need from your locks. Second, what you need in access control software. And third, the importance of choosing a software that plays nice with the other hardware and business softwares that you already use or are planning to use. So we're just going to dive right in here with the first consideration, what you need from your locks. Okay, so here's the thing. So not all doors are created equal and not all properties are the same. But I don't say that to scare you guys. We get asked all the time, is there a lock for my specific door? Yes. The short answer is yes, there is. So regardless of the material that your door is made of, whether it's wood, metal, glass, plastic, I don't know, you name it, whatever the material is, there's likely a lock solution out there for you. So with that being said, it's also important to think beyond just the front door to, first of all, the back door, which isn't always thought of, but also to things such as gates, garage doors, supply closets, elevators, you name it. So regardless of the complexity of the property, every one of those access points can be managed with the right access software and hardware.
Yeah, and as you guys all know, most property managers have an extremely diverse portfolio that's including a wide range of properties, doors, locks. For example, Airbnb alone has roughly about 5.2 million listings, and those listings range from tiny homes to castles to tree houses, you name it. The point being there is that with a software like Remotelock, you're not going to be limited based on the type of property you're managing or the type of door that you're dealing with. So we really like to pride ourselves on being a one-size-fits-all solution that allows that flexibility so you can scale the solution across your entire portfolio and streamline your business.
Exactly, yeah. So I mean, then in addition to that flexibility of, managing not just interior and exterior doors, it's also important to think about the different credential types. So like I already said, you're going to hear this a lot. Get ready. So not all properties are the same. So not all properties are going to use the same credential type. Like Justin just said, there's tree houses, there's castles, there's small houses, there's mansions. They might not all use the same credential type. So maybe you don't have Wi-Fi at one of your properties and you want to use a ReadyPin credential, or, maybe there's a scenario where you need a mobile interaction or a key card, a PIN code, whatever it may be. It's just important to be aware of the multiple credential types and understand that they do vary as, needs vary across the property.
Yeah, and also just providing a variety of different credential types allows both you and your guests flexibility and convenience, because it's no secret that using hard keys or lock boxes have their pitfalls and their issues. A guest could lose their key or have some other issues. And, some of the costs of just rekeying a door last minute can run you upwards of $150 a door. And that's not even mentioning how time consuming and inconvenient it is for you as a property manager, and your guests maybe having to make that commute, but however, you can avoid some of these pricing and, time consuming expenses, all while improving the guest experience by implementing a cloud-based solution like Remotelock that offers a wide variety of credential types that will fit your business needs.
Exactly. Yeah. So just to wrap up this section here, moving on to the next slide, just to wrap up this section. Yeah. When you do go through the process of selecting a partner to deliver a fully automated access control solution, just make sure that it can address all your needs from the hardware, the physical lock, all the way to the credential type. Okay, moving forward here. So we just talked about access devices. Now let's just shift into the brains behind the beast, the access management software, and some features that are important to consider. Okay. So when it comes to picking a solution, if you're only managing a couple of doors, you can just get by with the basics. You just need an easy to use system that can get rid of keys and remove that part of the hassle from your day-to-day life. But if you're here, you are probably already thinking bigger. You're already ready to grow your portfolio. So with that being said, if you are managing multiple properties, especially ones that are spread out geographically, you're gonna need your system to do a little bit more. So this is where that remote management really comes into play. This way, you're not tied to the property to execute those basic management functions. So you're going to want your system to be able to offer reports, notifications, access logs. You want to have peace of mind around your properties, even when you're not at your property. And then taking it one step further, if you are scaling your business to manage a portfolio of properties, you're going to want a system that, first of all, can scale with you, right? If you're looking to scale. But then you also need one that can automate tasks, integrate with other systems in your tech stack, and not lock you into a specific style of hardware per se. So here it is. Not all properties are the same. So you need a solution that can bring everything together and all your options together into one system.
Totally. And I think one of the biggest issues I see people running into is with their smart locks, they just won't be taking full advantage of all of their automation capabilities. They'll get the smart lock, they'll install it, and just sort of leave it at that. Now, as Jess mentioned, if you're just managing a couple of doors, a simple solution like using the Schlage or Yale app that comes with the lock, that might be sufficient. But if you guys are here, you're likely already using a handful of automation tools, such as Hostfully and other things, looking to just really streamline your business processes by automating even more aspects of your business. So Remotelock's robust features really allows owners and property managers to reduce any headaches, save time and money just by giving you full control of your properties wherever you are in the world. So things like being able to run detailed reports allows you to stay on top of really crucial things like battery life, Wi-Fi connectivity, access events. And this in turn makes your business much easier to run and scale, all while improving that guest experience at the same time. So again, every property is different, every door is different, but having a solution like Remotelock really allows you to consolidate your tech needs, have all your properties in one area and have full and complete control without having to jump back and forth between a bunch of different softwares.
Exactly. Yeah. And then, once you do choose the software, once you choose the right solution for you, next slide, and the solution is in place, like, boom, it's you have control over all of your properties at the tip of your fingertips. You don't need to be on site. You could be curled up on your couch under a blanket, or you could be on a beach thousands of miles away from your property, but you still will have control over the access to your property.
Yeah, and not every property manager really has the luxury of managing properties that are right next door. The average property owner lives almost 100 miles away from some of their properties. However, being able to integrate a solution like Remotelock eliminates the need to either hire someone on site or having to make a last-minute commute just to grant guest access, saving you loads of time and money.
Yeah, exactly. All right, we're going to shift now into the third consideration. So third, but definitely not least, things to consider is the need for your software to work well with others. Sorry, that one was a mouthful. So it's all about the integrations here, to streamline your processes and eliminate that swivel chair from one technology to another. It's all about the integrations. So with that being said, you need your access control software to integrate with your current and future business softwares. So here on the screen, this is just a snapshot of some of Remotelock's integrations. It doesn't tell the whole story. There's more, but I just wanted to show you, like I said in the beginning, our ultimate goal is to give customers the flexibility and choice when it comes to how they manage access to their properties. So, integrations. An integration between your access management software and your other business softwares, it's going to increase efficiencies, like majorly. For an access software to actually accomplish what you want it to do, it needs to be able to manage hardware from leading manufacturers, and it needs to be able to integrate with the other softwares that you use or are planning to use. I've already said that a couple of times now, but that's important. That's a key. So while you're also looking into these integrations, though, it's important to keep in mind that there is a difference between like works with and a true integration. So just a little tidbit of advice. When you are looking for your solution and they say that they have an integration with a specific software in your tech stack, just make sure you understand the depth of the solution. So, it actually is doing the complete amount, like everything you actually want it to do, and that they say that they are doing. I think Justin has more to add here too.
Yeah, I was just going to say, when adding a new software to your tech stack, I really can't stress enough the importance of doing your due diligence and making sure that these systems will actually work seamlessly together. Some management companies will go through a million demos, be presented one thing with all these expectations, but then once they begin onboarding or implementing the solution, it's not really what they signed up for. And it just becomes more of a headache than, an actual efficiency for your business. So again, really just making sure that all the tools in your tech stack seamlessly communicate with each other will avoid having to jump between systems and really make sure that you're getting the most out of all of your technology.
Yeah, exactly. I was just looking through the polls here, and I think that some of you are going to like this next slide. So I wanted to walk through an example of what automating access control to a vacation rental property actually looks like. But this example specifically, I'm going to touch on the cleaning turnovers. And it looks like the poll, what part of managing short-term rentals do you find most time consuming? Turnovers and cleaning got the most votes. So let's walk through this together. So in this example, a guest books a stay at one of your properties through your listing channel, which is connected to your vacation rental property management system. From there, that information is automatically populated into your access solution, and a unique self-expiring PIN is generated for the duration of that guest stay. From there, the guests, they come in, they have their stay, they come and go as they please. Maybe you want to set up a notification for the first time that the guest uses the PIN code, just another option for you to, manage your access. But then when it's time for the guests to check out, housekeeping can be notified and provided with their own unique access PIN to come in, prepare the unit for the next guest, and then we'll go through this whole process over again. But all of this process, it's all happening automatically, saving time and money. So just to wrap all of this up, that siren surprisingly isn't coming from me. I was expecting to hear sirens coming through my microphone. But just to wrap all of this up, and discussing what this means for everyone interacting with your property. So you as the property manager, you're more efficiently running your business and you're saving time and money throughout the process. Your guests, they're happy with a smooth experience at your property, and cleaners and maintenance and just anyone else who needs access to the property is able to get in and out easily, keeping the turnover from guest to guest moving along. And then again, just reiterating, access control affects everyone interacting with your property.
Yeah, so overall, obviously, the goal of implementing any technology is to improve your operational efficiencies and save time and money wherever you can. So automating your processes really allows you to easily scale and then allocate whatever time and resources you might have opened up into other areas of your business that might need more attention. This in turn is going to make your life easier, all while improving that guest experience as well.
Exactly. And just the last thing I want to leave you guys with is don't go at it alone. This might feel like a lot. There's no need to be nervous though. No need to be overwhelmed. This is what we do for a living. We are the access control experts, and we're committed to helping our customers solve their problems through software. And we want to help you guys find the right hardware for your property. I'll say it one more time. Not all properties are the same. So, bring in the experts who can help go through all the nuances. We can help you, mix and match locks, help you find the perfect blend for your property, figure out what's best, and then you can manage it all from one single platform. So, yeah, thank you so much for listening.
Jessica, I think we have a couple of really great questions in the chat.
Yeah.
I apologize. This is my first time to run some polls, so if I frustrated anyone today, just want to let you know that was on me this afternoon. But Amy has a really great question about, will the code lock be the same for all locks at the property?
Yeah, I can jump in there real quick. Sorry, Jess. But yeah, Amy, so essentially how it works is each individual device will have its own code generated. So once it's integrated with your PMS system, so say Hostfully, for example, they make a booking through whatever channel, all of that guest info is going to populate into Remotelock's platform, and a code will be generated specifically for that device. Now, however, we do also have some features called door grouping. So if you have a property that has some common areas, basically, let's think about it like a mail room or a pool area, gym, things like that, and you don't want to have a million different codes that you're sending out to your guests, you can actually group these doors together. So when a guest make a booking, the code that's generated for their individual unit will also work on all of those common areas. And then there's also a feature we have for just common doors. So if you have a property that maybe has a main entrance gate or just an entrance to get into the building, same concept there. Someone makes a booking, whatever code is generated for their individual unit, they can also use that on that front door to get into the building itself.
Yeah, that's a good question.
One question that I actually had that would occur with a lot of owners I would manage with is what would happen with their Remotelock devices if something like the power were to go out, whether that's a tropical storm, a big winter storm. How is that typically managed?
Yeah, no, great question, Coulter. And, remote locks, smart locks, they're not like our computers or phones. They're battery powered, obviously. So when the power goes out, that's not going to affect the lock. And these locks are, constantly hooking up to the Wi-Fi, syncing up with all current bookings. All the codes are being stored onto that device, as well as the access schedules. So it's basically storing upwards of 250 to 1,000 codes, depending on the lock. So if the power goes out, the Wi-Fi goes out, there's connection issues, that's not an issue at all.
Wow. Okay, perfect. And I guess my follow-up on that would be, is there a stereotypical amount of time that you see the batteries needing to be replaced? And I realize that might change device to device, but just some insight there as well.
Yeah, no, great question. And again, it does depend on the device, but we also have this heartbeat functionality. So you can kind of pick and choose how often your lock is actually turning on, hooking up to the Wi-Fi, updating all of the codes and access schedules. And you can have that be every 30 minutes or every 12 hours. It's really up to you and what fits your needs. But obviously, the larger that time window, the battery life can be extended up to about 1.5 years. There's also some functionalities with locks where you can have it where when a guest is touching the pin pad, the lock is turning on, syncing up to the Wi-Fi like that. So it really helps you kind of stay on top of, both the battery life and extending that battery life. So the lock, if there's some Wi-Fi connectivity issues, it's not just constantly searching for that Wi-Fi, draining its battery. You can really extend that battery life as much as possible.
Perfect. And it looks like we're getting a couple other
Yeah.
questions here trickling in. I'm not sure if you guys are seeing those, but one of those is, what hubs does Remotelock work with? And does Remotelock work with Vivint type lock? So if you just have any insight around those.
Yep. So we do still work with Z-Wave locks. I know a lot of you, it seems like I saw Z-Wave in the questions here quite a bit. So we do work with Z-Wave right now. But Z-Wave is slowly being taken over by Eslo. So that is somewhat of a dying technology, but it does still work with the system. But soon enough, Eslo will take them over completely. So you'll have to be using that hub.
Perfect.
Yeah, I'm going through. I'm trying to answer the ones in the chat that can be, for those who didn't see pricing structure. So the smart lock itself, is a cost, but then our software pricing, it starts at $6, and then depending on the plan that you choose, it could go up. But our account executives can definitely sit down and help you choose which plan is best for you. How far in advance is a code sent to a guest before checking in?
So you can set up automated messaging. If you're not setting up automated messaging through your channel manager, such as, Hostfully, we do have an automated messaging feature within Remotelock. So you can have updates sent out via text or email, however you prefer. And you can have those set up on a specific schedule. So whether you want it to be sent out a week before, a day before, 12 hours before, totally customizable, whatever best fits your needs. And I'm sure a lot of you guys probably already have automation and automated messaging in place for when a guest does make a booking. They're probably getting a message. So you can kind of mix and match whatever fits your guys' needs and what your preference is and what you've seen works best for you and your guests.
And I would just reiterate that from the property management software side as well. That's where that integration capability comes in, and the robust, reliability of that integration. And likewise to what Justin said, you've got the ability to set variables, door code being one of those variables. And you can set triggers to when you're comfortable having that message being sent to the guest, passing along that door code. So again, that just goes back to what Jessica and Justin were saying earlier. Make sure whatever software you are using, it is a reliable integration with those additional automation tools to make sure that is properly communicating on your time frame as well.
Yeah, and I also, just kind of going back on some of the Z-Wave stuff, some of those Yale locks, depending on the model that you guys currently have, I know they do integrate with the Vera hubs, the Z-Wave hubs. There are some additional new modules for some of the locks, which are essentially kind of like a little add-on that you can put in the back of the lock. So you can take out the hub altogether. But obviously, that technology is forever changing. And we keep that relatively up to date. So those integrations usually aren't much of an issue.
A question just came in, Justin, if you just mentioned the Eslo replacing the Z-Wave. You're talking about the Vera Eslo hub, correct?
So Vera is a type of Z-Wave hub. So yeah, Vera does work with that. And then Eslo is kind of taking over the Vera hub. Because if you go online and try to buy more Vera hubs, I believe inventories are pretty low just because they're in the middle of that takeover. But again, we have workarounds for that because we do integrate on both ends of that.
And it looks like for those who are looking for other options aside from the Vera hubs, do you guys have any other recommendations around that?
Yeah, I'm not sure if you guys are all using locks that integrate with a hub, like a lot of the Yale locks do. But there's also a handful of locks that don't require a hub. I'd say the Schlagen code is probably the most popular, but there are a handful of other locks that just connect directly to the Wi-Fi without any additional hardware. And it really comes down to your guys' preference as property managers. Some people like the hubs because you can add some additional smart devices. Some people don't like the hubs because, it's more moving parts. A guest could accidentally bump it, unplug it, and then you have some connection issues that way. So it really comes down to personal preference. But again, Remotelock being kind of, hardware agnostic, as Jess was saying, we integrate with a long list of all the industry leading smart locks. So it's not like you need to use just one lock. You can mix and match as you see fit for the needs of your business.
And then I guess one question that's probably going to come up, I see that just popped up, is where would be a good resource for people to find a list of the devices that are agreeable with Remotelock, just so they have that information readily available?
Yes, so I do have a PDF version of the list. I'm not sure if I'd be able to share it in here or if I could just email it to everyone who would like that list after the webinar. And then you can kind of take a look and see if it matches up with the locks that you guys are currently using, or if you are looking at investing into new technology, new hardware, replacing some locks. We'll give you a long list of options there.
And just so everyone who's still attending knows, we will be following up with you all after this call with some of this information. So you'll have our contact info in that follow-up email. So if any questions pop up after the fact, you'll be able to reach out as well.
Yeah, perfect. It's also just to add, if you go on our website under hardware, under partners, and you go to hardware partners, you'll see like the main brands, of all of these specific hardwares, but that doesn't necessarily mean all of those locks underneath each brand will integrate. But so you'll be able to look at that on the list that Justin was talking about. Yeah. But if you want like a high level version, you can go, it's on our website under partners and hardware.
Yeah. And as you guys all probably know, there's a million different makes and models that all of these brands like Schlage and Yale have. But, most of the more popular ones that you guys probably already have installed or have been looking at, we most likely integrate with them. But again, I'll get that detailed list over to everyone.
Perfect. So I think, you guys, that's most of the questions, unless anyone's got anything last minute to throw out. But like I mentioned, if anything pops up after the fact, we'll be following up with you all. So feel free to ping us at that point. We'll be happy to follow up on any questions you might have. But if nothing flows in here, Justin and Jessica and Kelly, I really appreciate all of you taking the time and providing us with all this insight here. Is a great conversation.
Yeah, thanks so much for having us.
Yeah, thank you, guys.
One just last quick thing for you guys. So if our Hostfully clients or anybody else is interested in getting started with Remotelock, what is like the timeline to get that all, connected and working with your team?
Yeah, great question, Kelly. So that could be set up as quickly as the same day you sign on. I feel like a lot of these technologies, PMS systems, have a few months of a timeline to get onboarded with us because we already have all of these integrations built out, especially with Hostfully. It'd be as simple as, signing up and getting set up the same day, getting your locks online. And obviously, we have a professional services team to help facilitate all of that onboarding if you do have any issues.
Perfect.
Awesome. I have a feeling people are going to be reaching out to you today after the webinar.
Please do. Yeah, we're here to help.
Awesome. All right. Well, you guys, we'll wrap this up a little early here, but for everyone who attended, we really appreciate you taking the time, participating in the conversation, asking questions, participating in the polls. So again, we really, really just appreciate you carving out some time for us today, especially those in the US. If you chose us over March Madness, we really appreciate you. But again, we'll be following up with you all shortly. But Justin, Jessica, Kelly, thank you all again so much.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Remotelock and Coulter from Hostfully. Slam dunk.
All right. We'll see you all on our next webinar. Thanks again, everyone.
All right. Bye now.
Thanks, guys.
Bye-bye.